What's up, everyone? We're back this week in the shop. Same old truck, different problem. We've got a intake heater relay fault, or intake heater fault. I checked the relay. The relay's working. It's got power all the way over to the heater grid itself, which is down here. Found out that the heater grid itself's not working. So these trucks have a history. I think it's the 13s. I'm sorry, the 10s all the way up. When I get it apart, I'll show you. There's a nut, there's two nuts on the underside that can come loose over time from the heat and cooling. So we got a solution. We're gonna go with this Banks setup here. Comes with a new intake ram. The heater will thread into here now. It's over here somewhere. Anyways, Banks makes some pretty good stuff. Well, there's some good diesel guys out here. These guys have been around forever, so we can't go wrong with them. And so yeah, let's start tearing this sucker apart. So we got the air intake horn off, some of the wiring out of the way. Now we're gonna have to pull all the fuel lines off, get the fuel rail off, and then this plate off. There's the intake heater. This one's clean, unlike you'll see most of the time, for reasons we're not gonna talk about. And I'll leave it at that. So let's get to pulling the rest of the stuff off. Guys, I want to show you something. This is how close we were to probably having an engine failure. Just from moving around and pulling this intake plate off. I seen this hole and I was like, oh no, where'd the rest of it go? There it is. There it is, right there. That is the killer bolt nut, stud, however you want to call it, that comes off of this heater intake right there. And then that eventually makes its way into one of these valves, intake valves, into the engine, and destroys the engine. Wow. And we nailed that. Got that just in time. Just in time. Wow. Love it. That would go. Sorry. It would go in there like that. Dang, that's crazy. So I just want to go over this again. The stud that come out. This would have gone here, which when I was taking it apart, it was loose, like it would wiggle. This is attached on the bottom side. Here. See, over time, as this gets hot and cold, obviously it works the metal. Expands, contracts, which eventually you end up with a loose connection here. And once that starts, then you start getting resistance because you don't have a good, solid, clean connection, which creates more heat, which eventually melts it off. That's scary. I'm glad we got this handled before we had a really big issue. But all right, so moving on to the banks. Let's get these out and do a little comparison. All right, so we got them out. Let me take a good comparison of this Banks, what do they call it? Monster Ram Gen 2 compared to the old stock filler. It's definitely got more of a rise, holds more volume. You get a more direct air input in straight, so I can see that helping. Got a nice billet new intake plate there, so we just got to swap a few things over. Put the throttle valve on this one. Obviously we got a map sensor, or T-map sensor to put in there. And the new heater. This will be our new heater grid. It threads into here. Or, I say heater grid, it's a coil style. And hopefully, I don't see any way that can come apart and damage an engine like the factory one here. So, it's a very nice upgrade. Well done, Banks, as usual. And like they said in their deal, if anything, I think you'll agree, it looks badass too. It does look badass. Good job, guys. Alright. I also forgot to mention, it came with some sweet stickers. Obviously another sticker that proves that this is carb compliant. A nice little license plate bracket. Thanks, fellas. Looks awesome. Alright, guys. Missed out on some of the install. We didn't miss out on much. It's real straightforward. I'll give it to Banks. Their directions are awesome. They killed it with that. I haven't seen directions that clear in a long time. Did I follow them to the T? No, I did not. I did a few things differently. That caused me to do some stuff twice. We're not going to talk about that. But there's not a whole lot different. You got to put these spacers on the fuel rail right there. You use the factory bolts it comes with. You know, really put it all back together. It comes with this new #1 fuel injector line that goes over and down here rather than the other way where it crossed in and it's impossible. But anyways, yeah. So you do have to pull this bracket off here for the old bat wing. That no longer is used. Yeah, just got to get the little cool Banks heat shield on there so it doesn't burn up the hood. And all right, that's what it looks like complete. It's on up there. I guess it clears. It clears. It's close. Really, really close. So, guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give this about a 3 or 4. I probably could have done this first time around, taking my time, reading the directions, hour and a half. It took me more than that, but I also had to stop and feed the small human at one point, and then take a phone call. So I got about 3.5 hours in it right now. But like I said, I was taking my time to make sure it's all right. So don't be afraid to do it. There's a little tricky bolt. If you, on the intake heater coil here, I put that in first and then installed this. Realized there's a bolt down in there, and it comes with this Allen headed tool. That allows you to get down all the way in there and tighten that up. least they use a magnet, big-headed magnet, stick it down there and start it. That would work. I went ahead and stuck the bolt in the intake, and as I worked it in, I made sure I didn't push it out, and got it started that way. So do it however you like. Like I said, Banks did a great job with their directions, but everybody kind of has their own way. So anyways, we're gonna fire it up, make sure it actually works, does not turn the light on. Hopefully it's cold enough, but looking at the evidence we had with the other intake, I know we got this thing whooped. So all right, so we got the old girl fired up. It's a little bit warm, so she did not do her preheat. So we'll try it in the morning. We'll drop this thing off. But she had a little long crank time as we expected because we had the fuel system apart. I don't know, she's good to go.